it's hard to cover state. So many ways of editing in Wikimedia. So before we begin to sleep, because some of us are really stretching from inside, and it's made to begin to close our eyes to do test running of the sleep. Um, so I don't know. Does anybody have a question to ask?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. There is a issue of trying to an article that does not exist
Yeah.
anymore,
But
and you are trying to create
but
that article.
camera. Ah,
Because I've been working on this article with this, and some of our, some of a lot of our towns will be nowhere to be found. How I try the day, I try that one some more. When I want to understand, when I wanted to move it, I got some challenges and some other stuff. So I kind of stopped.
so the issue why you are having you actually created the article
Yes.
and then you deleted it again. You already know where the B is. That's could be. They are the same thing.
Yes.
And so now, for what we wanted to say, what I was saying is that instead of us promoting the wrong name,
Yes. That is
we
it.
promote.
And
So if you are looking for article, you want to create an article using the right name for the article. Just look for search for the known name, the wrong names. You have a lot of citations. Use those citations to create.
what I did on that, I looked for that community, which is the non-name. But first of all, I was working on the DP. But when I now use the citations. When I'm now using the citation for community, then now the value, then I have to change the name to community for that to accept the citation. So I have to put the community in front and then the DG will come out.
No,
But when I was even working on them, trying to move it, it still have some challenge.
the thing is, just create it normal as you are creating, or as we practicalized. Create, use those citations for Chrome. You can see one here, two here. This town actually has a lot of citations, both on book because it's a historical location. Uh, so, like in those days during the British colonial period, this is actually where those Etiap and those Belgian people assembled. This is the assembly place for protest. So it's just central before Zonkwa started, because Zonkwa is just a new town, or it used to be an unknown village, so to say. This used to be the main town itself. So it has a lot of history. Book having a book having a this book many books, so you never run out of citation for that very. But when you are creating the article itself, the title should be deeply with the native name, then in bracket Hausa Bampa Kurumi. That's the name that the people call it. That's the name that the world should call it. So those citations are already recorded under Kurumi. No problem. Don't change it. Put Kurumi there. But the title itself, DB. And then also find some few locations like this book, in short history of Atia. It has DP there, not Kurumi. They just it's DP. Then they now in the explanation Kurumi. So look for as much as, even if it's two three that you can find. Even though I know that this one is conflict of interest now in Wikimedia, but of course it's conflict of interest. It's my location, so I'll do whatever possible, even though I look like a devil, but my own name must be there, not a foreign name. So if that's what will make Wikimedia to ban my name, let them ban it. But my native name, our native names must be there, not foreign names. So and we are live actually, so anybody can watch it and do whatever they want. So
So far,
so this is our region. If you go to Kazakhstan, you go to Central Asia, you go to their Telegram group, you see how they are fighting on names of their towns. They must bear their name, not Russian names. Because Russians, during the Russification of Central Asia, they began to change the native names entirely to their Russian language. So now these people are going back to their own roots, diversifying the whole area back to their native names, renaming the names, the towns. So go to their groups now, you see the. So we are not the idiots now that will keep on using names that are not native to us.
yeah.
So the more we use the names on wiki sources, journalists will take these names and begin to create articles with the names that we push them. Before you know it, in 10 years, the
Just want that
internet will be
other
flooded
yes.
with the native name. So but we have to start it from somewhere, and we have the opportunity to start it from here. So let's make use of the chance to do the best we can do to rewrite the history. It's a very bad history that we need to change it. So I don't know. Does that answer your question? Yes. So
My own
you have a
question
question.
I was working on Maokili, right? So, so from there, I will search for Maokili. Is it's Mawakili. So I try to edit it, but I can't.
This
So
is
because
English.
I
This
want to
dictionary.
convert, huh?
This English dictionary. It may
Okay,
not
now
even be.
there's an article in their language. You
It
see
may not even be
Mawakili.
that place. It may not even be the Mawakili you are talking about. This is in Kenya.
Okay. Yes,
Mawakili.
even the Jap people check the Java.
Mawakili is actually like when you say Awukili, like Swahili actually put ma there for our own. So this one has nothing to do with us here. Just look for, if you are going to see any article related to that very place you are talking about, it's going to be Ago Wakili. The Mawakili is not yet widely used yet. Eh, So your own Wikipedia article is actually the first one that's bearing that one. In addition to the article, in addition to this article, Standard Cardinal Genocide article, that one has it also. So I actually worked on that article this morning. Maokili. I did some editing here and changed this one to H. So that issue you are talking about has already been addressed this morning. So you can see it here. Is there any other thing?
Yes, another one.
You have not yet linked it. Yes, I see. There's one more thing again. It was linking to one Indian article. If you click on, so the issue was that you have not linked it to Wikidata. But the major issue, I forgot what was the major issue. But now it is no more linking to that Indian article.
There's another one that is in my drive. Is it draft?
Okay, which article?
Is it just another my draft?
Okay, which of them? These are the entire articles
Draft.
exist. Yeah, which of them? Which of them? This one. Which of them? What's the name?
What, uh, something like Maori, but it's not Maori.
Once Maokili has been created, you don't need to create another Maokili.
No, it's not Maori.
Is it Magua fan? Okay, so uh, I don't know. Does any other person has a question before we be able to? So I don't know the reason why Pastor Peter. Why have you not been able to create an article yet?
Yes, actually, I'm so that is why I think I explained to this my brother a
Okay.
little about myself. You understand?
Yeah.
But give me small time.
Okay. Even though the central thing is that you are starting for your Jerusalem, actually. So if you don't have an article, you create it on your own. I mean, from this one that we have presented, but your own region has to be represented also. So you create as much as possible. The same thing with Dorcas. Even though I think Mrs. Agnes, they are already working on, but I don't think they're even creating those things. They're only creating them in the Ghana Wikipedia in the language, but they are not really creating in the English Wikipedia. So, but then, and that is duplication of
I know, I'm just, I
idea.
think this, I'm just hearing it for the first time. I thought we are only dealing with the middle bed, so not
Ideally, we're dealing with the middle belt and southern Kaduna, but you can also work on your location. Ideally, you can work on your own location because the main the main goal is that we want to we want a situation whereby every Wikimedian will work in his own. White people like it, the ones abroad now, that's what they push. That's why they want people from every location in the world. You are representing the underrepresented communities. You are representing the underrepresented communities because if you don't represent your own underrepresented community, of course, for the sake of our own user group here, that's why we're working on locations here in Southern Kaduna and the Middle Belt. But for the sake of your own underrepresented community, you should also work on your own area. Like Zainab, when she came, she was creating an article on one location in Edo State. It's not bad. It's your own choice. You can use the one that we have provided on the outreach dashboard. You can also create in your own location where you are from. The outside Wikimedians, well, we can't force them to create in their own, I mean, in our own region. But if they should participate, ideally, they should use what we have here. Ideally. Uh, so it's a
okay.
two-way
That means if
thing.
I want to create an article from my own partner, I can choose any location,
Choose
any
any location that
village,
is not there.
any.
Choose any location that is not there and create for your own location. So that at the end of the day, um, let it not be that your region is not represented
Okay.
on Wikipedia because I can see that actually if 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 to me personally, I would have loved a situation whereby our own user group would handle anything that doesn't have to do with the major groups in Nigeria. But then it will be too big for us, and so we just narrow it down to this region only. But if you look at the Wikimedians here in Nigeria, especially the ones from Edo State, they are really not working on Edo State.
Mm.
The ones from Delta State, they are also not working on Delta State. They will prefer to go and work on the Ogun State. They will prefer to go and work on Lagos State because they are living in Lagos. They will prefer to go and work in Sokoto and not in their own locality. And that's why you see we don't have project in Edo language. Don't have it.
Okay, I
We
think
don't
this.
have
I think
project
I will
in
meet you personally so that it will be fine.
it will be difficult.
It will be difficult. Why would it be difficult?
It's the same pattern, but
So why will it
Like
be
him
difficult?
now, the next step now is to start a project in Idoma language, maybe the next 6 months. But if he masters the English, that's the aim now. You master English Wikipedia very well, up to 6 months. He starts a project in Idoma language and then begin to apply for events around home area. Or even I think Idoma are plenty here in Kaduna, there are plenty.
yeah.
Even in my class, sef, like many like Joseph. He speaks the language very well. He can write it. So anywhere you are, like this year project, we are going to start on the 20th. Most of them are around the home area, but we are going to do this year. So we want to start another Wikipedia project. Assuming we have now understand him very well, he can write in here. He will be the one to champion the cause of the Hiam language. Because every year from our user group, we are hatching one more new Wikipedia. So if need be, we'll just extend a bit from this desert area down to Idoma also, if need be. Igala already has a Wikipedia, so they are already like the second one in this middle delta region, so they are not really marginalized. The Lupe is already having a Wikipedia, so they are really not marginalized. So we are having three Wikipedias in this middle delta area. But down south, is there any Wikipedia from the south? Apart from Obolo, apart from Obolo is Obolo.
Yes.
Obolo is the only Wikipedia that is live now. The EFIC started work, but EFIC they went offline. They are very close, like very close, but they now went offline. I don't really know their progress of their work now. EBBO, they are just trying to resurrect it. But Edo and Delta State, all the editors, they only prefer to work in English Wikipedia and not transferring the power to their own language. I spoke with an Urobo editor. I mean, he's not an editor. I think we even created, we were working in the same place before. I created the article, Wikipedia page for him. He should start writing some sort of Urobo language. He was very like agile. But since I left that place, that's the end. I never heard from him again. And today you go there, do project on Urobo language. And those languages are very big. They are being taught in university. So it's not something that you see there are no articles. They have they have books. But so if you now you start a project, if you now you become very strong, and if there's no project yet, by that time if Ajia doesn't start before you, then you can also start something on the MI, the FMI. You can start in that language, and then or if it has started already, you can now join her and join her. Okay, no, your own language is a bit different.
But we know Edo has a lot of languages, too many. So you can see two villages close together, maybe, but speaking different languages.
Your own language is more related to Ebira. Your own language is more related to Ebira.
Thank you, and it's not the same thing.
It's actually Ebira,
By history,
but now it has a lot of Edo words inside, more than the Ebira in Okene. But is it listed as Ebira or as another language?
no, my language is inside Edo, and
Okay, what's the name of the language? Igara is said.
Igara.
But what's the name of the language natively? How do you call it?
Okay, Etuno.
Okay, I've seen it's an Ebira. It's considered as an Ebira dialect.
Is considered as an
Yes, Etuno is an Ebira dialect.
but it's not actually.
You know, from your name,
Yes.
from your name, I have a lot of people that ask me on the Onimisi.
Yes.
Onimisi is the one that I love in Ebira. And the same meaning in your language. So your own language is another dialect of Ebira language. And if they speak, you understand what they say.
Sure.
So that makes it a dialect. But if an Edo person from MI listens to your own language, he may not be able to understand, right? But he will pick some certain words because your count itself is the same thing, close to Eva is still the same Eva for two.
Mm.
So there are a lot of similarities between languages, Ebra and Igala with Edo.
Igala.
It's either Igara or Igala. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But there is a lot of history to it. Igala people have invaded that region. They occupied it and fought with Edo for many years. They settled there and adopted Edo language. So there are Igala people there, that town. That's why the Edo call it Igara, because Benin specifically, they usually switch L to R, R to L. Esa will change, we use L, while Edo will use R, just like Igbo in Onitsha, and then Igbo in Oka. So they just switch but it's the same thing. Uh, So for your own now, you can actually start a project in a Iberian language. The subject they teach, the indigenous language they teach, is it?
No, not, I've never had.
Okay, I've never been there.
In my side,
Uh,
I don't think they teach it around.
no, they are usually like I saw Wayek now. Wayek now does Edo in three dialects. They do Edo Bini dialect, Edo Esa dialect, they do Edo Etako. So I want to know now, in your own region, do they use Edo Etako or they use Ebra Central dialect of Okene? Because I think the one in Okene is different from the one they use in Toto local government in Nasarawa State. Because in Nasarawa State they call them Igbira. They are the same people, but then the history is very long. So the ones in Kotoka they speak another dialect, uh, you know, but the central one is the one in Okene. So if there's already a central dialect, possibly you can still start with your own dialect and then later on expand to other dialects. I don't know, but like the way we fashion the Tyap Wikimedia now, regardless of your own dialect, you can be able to create in any dialect at all. Then you translate. Others cannot translate from your own dialect. So that interface was later created because earlier on we are having like speakers of other dialects who want to contribute, but they are not really fluent in this one that we speak here. So some of them will create in their own dialect, then later we will retranslate it. But now that we have an interface that will translate to other dialects, they cannot be able to create in their own dialects respectively. So before your project will now reach that very point now, you can still start the project in your own dialect, but you just noti- put a notice in brackets that it is so and so dialect. The same thing with Ghana, like the Twi language. The Twi language before now it has Eke dialect, I mean Eke Wikipedia. That's what they actually started with. So later on, when they now created the Twi Wikipedia, Eke is the same thing with Twi. Like Eke is like the cover. Inside Eke, you have Aquapin, you have Twi, you have Fante, you have Ga, and then you have this one in Gonja. No, Gonja is Northern Ghana. The ones in Cote d'Ivoire, they are the more fluent in French, but they are still Eke people. If I'm wrong, you correct me. But which dialect do you speak? Yes. Is it Fante you speak or Twi? Okay, so Twi. So inside, is it Eke or Aka? So they write it Aka, but the root that the pronunciation is Eke. So inside that Eke, okay, before you came, I was saying something about the language. So if I'm wrong, you correct me. So inside Eke, before they started Eke Wikipedia in 2020, 2004, thereabout. So later on, they now started Tree Wikipedia. Then Fante Wikipedia now started. So Fante and Tree and Ga and Aquapin and then Ashanti, the one spoken in Kumasi. I think Ashanti is even the same thing. So all these ones, they are all dialects. Dialect, there are about at least seven. But now we have Wikipedia in almost all those dialects. They have now closed the Wikipedia of Eke language. They have closed it. and then anything you are looking for under Eke has been redirected to Twi. Everything back to Twi because the Eke dialect is actually the actual Eke language they used to write it is actually based on Twi. So there's no use having Twi Wikipedia, having Eke. Ehen. So you can actually start something like that in Ebira of Etuno. Then later on, maybe somebody can even start in the one in Okede. Then somebody can start with the one in Ibira dialect of Toto local government Nasarawa state. And then somebody can even start with one in Kotoka. Then later on, maybe integrate. I don't know, but although it makes it look so bulky, but it's still good like that because German itself has the same issue. They started in the official standard German, but later on, now you have in Plattdeutsch. Now you also have in there are many German dialects. So many all those German dialects now they are beginning to have Wikipedias, and all of them have SIL code. So if you check that your SIL code is the same thing with the one on Ebrag in central Okene, then that means whatever you do has to be the same thing with Okene. But if your own Etuno has another SIL code, then you can create on your own dialect. So let's do it practically and check and see.
Okay.
So let's check Etuno as a language. Uh, you can see what I'm talking. Okay. So, so let me go back to Wikipedia, and then if it is considered a language, it will be listed as a language. But if it is not considered a language, it will be listed under a. So it is obviously under a. But let me open it so that you'll be very sure. It shares the same code. Let me open it, then you'll be very sure that it is. So we'll go to word links here. So under Ebra now you see all. Okay, let's see. Let's check for a tool. Uh, it's not even. It's not even listed at all. But let's check the main article of Ebra. Probably they will have. But that's the major issue with the articles about this region. They are really not well, explicit. You see Ebira, as big as Ebira is, look at the lines we are having. This is the entire thing that is there.
Yeah.
Look at it. But you check German, check English, check French, see them long.
And I can also work on this.
You can work on this, then you can put more of the dialect because this one is just the Ebrata of Okedi now. Then the look at what I'm talking about. Look at it. So Blanche listed Okene, Etuno, and Koto are the three dialects. So you can actually start working on Ebira itself, mainline Ebira. And I'm sure the differences between Etuno and Ebira will be very small.
Yeah, because
Very
they
small.
also actually have the same traditions.
It's very small.
And,
Because that those Ebira that are very close to that Ogori area, historically they are Jukus. Historically they are Jukus, but they follow the water. During that time, they were fighting a lot with Igala. Ebra itself, it seems to be another ethnic group that is related to Idoma and Igala itself. Three of them. There used to be an ethnic group also they called Okotu that time, but the ethnic group later doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But like as far around 1800, it used to be called Okotu. But later on, that photography, I think it's from Okotu or even though houses they have a way of creating their own. They'll say it's photography, and then they'll link it to jihad. Meanwhile, it can also be another thing entirely, because Okoto is still related to that name if you check the etymology. But then they usually say Ebira, they are the one that used to invest more among the three. You have issue, anger issue. Eh, So Idoma, Igala, they are cool. They are Ebira, they just like Edo. They have the same temperament. Yeah,
No, they
Benin,
only good.
Benin. Do you know the meaning of Benin? Benin means anger.
No, they only good.
Ibinu, that's anger. Benin, they are very bold people actually, very bold, and they have that. If a person is not bold, actually, they will not have that temperament. But you know, I don't know. Igala too is also hot too. Only that sometimes they look cool, but they're also very hot. Uh, because traditionally, the traditions of that area is more or less the same thing that with the one that we have here in our region. But you see, because of too much of mixture with the people up north, most of those traditions, you know, they are vanishing, they have gone already. So you now begin to see that differences are much, a bit much. But if you go through the language itself, you begin to see that they are all the same kind of human beings. So what is actually bringing this story is that we actually need to work from our own regions. By the time you have started working on the English Wikipedia up to like 5, 6 months, 7 months, close to 1 year, then you put up an application for Ebra Wikipedia. You can actually start the Ebra Wikipedia. Him will start the Ghana Wikipedia. And then no, Ghana already has most people. There are plenty of people. In fact, there are too many. There are too many. In fact, they are the ones competing with Nigeria. And there are too many. Jamal now he has started a project, an advanced project on Fante Wikipedia, and then to Wikipedia is the one that is even top in Ghana, followed by Dagbani. So, so you no need to work on anything Ghana. You just work on here. Focus on here because there are too much. There are too much there.
So you can speak of something.
She's a Nigerian.
No,
I don't speak of
we'll teach her
Nigeria. I
here.
didn't know she was my neighbor
We'll
before.
teach her here.
I didn't remember.
How's
I was trying to think, who is this person?
Maybe last time
Yeah.
I took them to the actually showed them at the I think that just do the random. So maybe after the about
So maybe if Xeron doesn't convert, if Xeron doesn't convert her to Idoma, will convert her to Tia. So, but yeah. Yes. Okay, we want us to create an article. Okay, you want to check whether you create an article. But you know you didn't create now. But you know you didn't create. Toho. He was the first victim. She has created but with a lot of mistakes. But she is still doing good. Then Tolibabe has not done anything yet. An article he has created. So let's check. Let's prove it that he has created. Sabo Wikipedia. Sabotation. Okay, he's the one that created Sabo. Okay, I think I saw it. I didn't check. Okay, let me check his own article, and then we'll see. There are a lot of Sabo even in Lagos. There is Sabo now. Sabotage. Okay. There's Tasha in Nasarawa State. There's Tasha in Nasarawa State after on your way to what's the name of that Africa? Look at the Sabota Shaka. So this okay. So now I think he started creation from afresh without using any template, which is good. But then there's still a lot of work to do. You can actually look for an existing article and copy the info box. The info box. Just find the info box, come to your edit, and then paste it at the very top. The info box. This is his own article on sabotage.
This visual edit.
Well, you forgive me because me, I don't really enjoy using that visual edit. I use the source mostly, even though it's a big one. It takes time, but yeah, I don't just like easy things like it's too easy. And,
That is for beginners.
I'm actually glad I learned this one first.
yes,
Beginners. I want this source.
so
I don't know about that.
because if anything cast now, you can always use that source, but this other one, you will see that the well, I don't know. So this is his own article actually. It's a good start, but you have a lot of work to do. You always compare it with already existing article. Like when we are starting a new article, we don't usually start with a heading like
Sony Mura, I used to see. So it's
Tony,
Sony Mura. So it's
so.
that's the only.
So this was another place entirely.
Tony, Mura.
It's another place entirely, not in South Africa. This story of Kura is not in Kalimantan.
Yes.
Yes,
It's
Sabotage.
a mouse.
It's a-
The old name.
Okay. Oh, that's the old name.
Old name for Sabotage.
Okay.
Send it on maps.
Okay.
Around that blue road,
Yes.
you see the right side, you go down.
Okay.
down.
Maybe when we get Gurara State, we change these names. We
Yeah.
change this so that it will reflect the culture of our
That
region.
railway station.
Okay, one name is Alshama.
Yeah, we'll change it to a
Yeah,
bad
wait
name
till
because that's your original name.
I'm
Before this week came out, change the name to whatever they wanted.
Now, why do you so much know about ourselves? Are you married?
I'm more from that side than this side. Most of my years is from that side. Here, I only spend just little time here, but most of my age was there. So,
Actually,
You're very overtime in that Which one? I have about 11 citations. Ramon, did you check my own? Okay, it's not
okay,
much.
then your own.
That was all right. I'm not there to
Okay, then your own is your own
There's
is
a way you analyze that of
Zero.
okay, zero.
Okay,
Okay, I should do it like that.
And I do my own like
Okay.
that analysis very well.
Okay, okay, we'll come like this.
It's not from like
It's all right. No problem. Continue.
So, okay, let me start. The name that I'll hit from bottom, I'll use that one. The first name, Eunice has not created yet. On his speed does not have yet. The Mozu, she's not yet here, so maybe we'll just drop her house. She's not here. The Hajia is not. Okay, so let's start from Babi. Let's start from Barbie before we go to Wayham. So if we open the article,
Yeah, it's not.
so if we create open the article, the first thing is actually what we need is the info box. The info box that is just an introduction, is just the summary of the article itself. So if I were to be the one working on this article now, what I would just do is to go to an article that is already existing. Maybe I'll just go to that menu real quick, and then I'll just go to this very place, open the edit source, and then I'll just go down here and copy everything, the info box, and then I'll come back to this very article, and then go to my own edit source, and then I'll give a space down, and then I'll paste it. So that's just the beginning, and then I'll begin to change.
Only the info box.
Yes, only the
So that
info
will not
box
be like that
in
big
bits.
man with
Yes,
laptop.
in bits, but I will not publish it so that you do it himself. Yeah, so the use of Nigerian English, of course, we are using Nigerian English, but this is September. Eh, so we can now change the name now to Sabotasha, and then other name before we know the indigenous name, the baggy name, then we'll replace or we'll place it there later on. Maybe we start promoting the indigenous name, and then later on it takes over, if possible. So a settlement type is actually a suburb of Kaduna. Yes, and then the motto sabotage. I'm not sure it has a motto, but they may have an image, but you can go and check and see if there's an image that you can be able to use. And then if you want to add an image now, you can just go to Commons. You can just go to Commons. Sorry, now how can they make me the I want touch see I will touch that. Eh, so I think maybe the item 7 will dey close. So you can just check Sabon Tasha. You can see a lot of images. So you see, Xeron has uploaded some images here, and you can even see. You can see there was there was an image of. So there's a program here in Sabotage. Um, but then that one doesn't really like represent her.
This manner.
So maybe we can just use this one. You can just use this one, and then we'll paste it here. Maybe for the sake of demonstration, we'll just publish this one. Then you work on another article. That so this is the main article, but you just take note of the image sign, the skyline. That's where we paste the the title, and then we just say what's the name of that place? Mana Academy. Okay, just say Sabon Tasha. Uh, let's see, maybe we just say by Mana Academy, Sabon Tasha's, Kaduna. But but the Tasha is a proper name, proper noun, so it's capital letter. But then we can't do that because this is the title of the image itself. If you alter anything, it's not going to work. And if you want to check it to be sure, you can preview, and then you see that there's no image that will show there. So nothing will show. So even if there's a mistake, you can correct so long as you publish the article already or the image already in that way. But if you change it, you can't correct it except you go to Commons itself. If you go to Commons, then you open it now. I don't know if somebody that doesn't have up to 500 edits can be able to move, but me, I can be able to move. I'll just click on move. I'm not an admin, so I cannot be able to. I only have to request. Then an admin will now change it. So maybe the reason I can give maybe obvious errors and then maybe spelling error, spelling capitalization, or maybe capitalization error, and then I'll just send it over to the admins. So they'll change the name later on. So if they change the name later on, they'll go to every location that this image is located and change the names to the correct one. Yes. So I think, do you understand how to add the article, the picture to Wikipedia?
The image caption, just
Just the name, or just the name, like the caption itself. This one. This is the only thing you need to copy from Wikipedia. Yeah, you don't need to copy this file.
Okay, this is the only one you copy.
Yes, this is the
Not the
only
link.
thing. Don't copy file and column. Don't. So just this one, and then once you just come to Wikipedia, you just paste it in image skyline, so that will be the main image of that very article, and then the caption, what you want to explain about this very image. Then you can still choose to put a size here, but you can still choose to leave it like that. And then if the place has a flag, like a flag, you can put you go to commons, copy it's the same thing like this one. They copy the flag and paste it here, the flag name, and then do any other thing. But if not, you just leave it like as it is, and then we cannot. It is in Nigeria. It is a state. It is in Kaduna State, and then it is in Kaduna South local government area. Okay, in Chiku local government. Okay, one. Okay, so Chiku local government area, and then the district. I really don't know what. Okay, let's go to Chiku local government area so that we'll be sure of what district it is located. So we can go to Chiku, because Chiku has a list of districts there. So you can see Chiku Ward, Gwagwada Ward, Kakao Ward, Kujama Ward, Kunai Ward, Kuriga Ward, Narai Ward, Sabontasha Ward. So it's actually Sabontasha. That's the ward. But it's the district. The thing is that I've worked on all the Southern Cardinal articles, but after doing it, somebody else will come and put in something else and started the whole thing. So it's very tiring going through all these things and correcting it, but we can check it from here, from this middat.org, um, or for one of these ones here, and then we'll see the ahead. This is actually it. So these are the list of all of them. They are all districts. Uh, the second order, I think so. I'm not so sure, but I think so. Yes. So under every local government, there's a district under every local government, and I think the political name is the ward now. I think this is ward. I'm not too sure, but I'm not too sure because that ward has to do more of election.
Election is
Electoral ward.
restricted to
It's
in
the
the district. You
district.
can have many wards in the district.
Oh, so it's the district. So all of them like this, they are all district. All of them, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they are 13 districts. So there are about 13 districts in, and then that Chiku is actually in Chiku district. I mean, Sabotasha is in Sabotasha district. So maybe we'll just change it to Sabotasha, and then maybe we can link this 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 one, this meta.org, to we can just click on Sabotasha itself, and then we use this very link itself. So there are two locations here, the Agua Galadima. So these ones are now like subdivisions, or maybe wards under Sabotasha district. So maybe we would have to construct this whole thing again as a citation. So the whole thing is So site web, and then URL equals, and then the title is equal to you can just copy the title itself, and then uh, we go to paste it, and then to this date, that's access date equals to this day, September 5th. Okay, 5th September 2025. 25, and then we can just leave it like this, and then maybe the website uh, web website is linda.org. Then close when booked. So we can now close the reference, and then any other thing. I think every other thing is correct, except this coordinate. So we can still ask Google. We can say coordinate of Sabon, Tasha, Kaduna. Then we search, and then we can see this is Kura word. So we can see, okay, the main that already has it has coordinate already. So we can just move backward. This is okay. So I think we can use that Kura word as, because Kura is inside substitution. So we can just use this very one, copy this one. Later we'll put the reference, and then we we can just put it at the very top first, or maybe we put some spaces down, and then paste it, and then later we'll edit that region so that everything will be good. And then we copy this one, and then we paste it here. So now we have 10 degrees, 26 minutes, and then 44 seconds. Then north now 7 degrees, 27 minutes, and then 23 seconds. So we have to now change everything that is inside this place to fit in the information that we have here. The title, we change the title to uh, this new one that we copied. We paste it, and then the URL also, we change the URL, and then the URL, and then we paste it, and then the website is the same thing, but today's date is September 5th of 5 2025, and then every other thing I think is correct, and then the elevation, maybe you can do that one later, and then this one looks good. So if you are starting an article, don't start with this one. It has to be like this. And then after the info box. So sabotasha, maybe since everybody already knows it as sabotasha, can leave it like that. Then you go to and start the history section of it. Or maybe you can still choose to put formally, but if you have a citation that shows that it's formally known as that. But if you don't have any citation, you don't put it. So maybe if you have a citation, for example, now you can just say formally the Sabo Kura. Okay, so Kura, and then you put the ref here, open close ref, and then open close ref, and then you put the whole this site that, and then you publish. But since we don't have that one now, we'll just delete this one. So sabotage is one of the major suburbs in Kaduna metropolis, in the Kaduna metropolis, and it's 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 it's
It's a district.
it is
Sabotage is a district in Chicken Local.
sabotage as a district.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Sabotage is a district in Chicken Local.
So it's a major suburb. It's one of the major suburbs in Kaduna metropolis, and a district, and a district.
Have all those information there. I did it also as a support and as a watch. And also have actually it's three.
Okay, it has political words, three political words. Okay,
No, I think it has strong watch too.
okay, okay. So say
Yes.
district. So it's a suburb. Okay, so what we can just say is that, or we can just restructure it and say Sabotage is one of the major suburbs and districts, and districts of Kaduna metropolis, and or we can just say full stop here. They will just say it is located, we can take note of these two. They are not actually the same thing. Uh, mhm. They are not the same thing. So this one is a possessive pronoun. That's it, his, has, theirs. Now, but this one, if you now say, you now put apostrophe, this is a contraction of it is. Now, it is. So, so it is located. But if you are writing a Wikipedia article, please let's not contract it. Write it in full. With no contraction. So it is located in Chuku. In Chuku, then we have a citation here that backs it up. In Chuku local government area, and then of okay, let's publish and see the way it looks. So let's say added info box. Uh, and then let's see how it
That
looks.
summary be exactly what you do.
Yes,
What exactly what you do.
yes. And you can do it as much as you
I'm
want.
gonna say something that comes that relates to what I do.
It's just put anything that's related.
It's going to be sometimes I don't remember who says
Okay. So so now we have an issue with the citation. So that one that was pasted wasn't deleted. So that's what is causing that issue. So if we go down, or is it up? Okay, yeah, down. Look at it here. It wasn't deleted. So that's why it's messing up the whole calculation now. But if we publish it, it's going to be properly represented. So we can see it. Once we click it, it's going to link us to the Wikipedia Google Map, uh, the GeoHack. I think this one is owned by Wikimedia. Yes, this one is owned by Wikimedia Foundation. Yes. So the GeoHack now, uh, please, some of us, let's endeavor so that we'll enter into maps. But there's a group called Maps for Wikimedia. It's a user group. So Hausa Wikimedians, some of them are in the maps. So they usually add names of. So if we have our people in those maps, then we can begin to change all these things to the right names. Especially those ones that are having to do with our own individual, so that the ones that have their actual names, let their actual names be there, and then these other ones we can leave their own to continue uh, later on. But because if they are in the maps, you have gotten it. So it's very necessary that some of us go into maps also. Even Google Maps, anybody can edit Google Maps. Google Maps. So if you go into maps, you can offer suggestions to the names of those places. It remains on the admins to change those names. Right. So that's
Very
So I think this map is leading us to the right place. So that means this one is good. And even if you look at the map now, you can see the location is correct. It's in Kaduna Metropolis.
Coordinates you need to get together first.
So this coordinate will always put the point at the right place.
I mean, online what you click before you want to go back.
Yes, it was this one that I click and
That's
put
where
it
the
into that
content is
place.
from.
Okay. So if for example you make a wrong edit and you put the wrong coordinate, or maybe the town is the same name but not really the same location and you don't really know, because there are some locations they have the same name. Oh. You can see sabotage shop, but it's not really the one here. So if it is the wrong one, it will take you to the wrong place. So if you see, then you know that your map is the coordinate is wrong. But from this one now, it shows that it's okay. Then these other ones that we're having here, there's a lot of work that needs to be done here. And then uh, in politics, sabotage refers to one of the what no, we will not write it like this per se. We'll create another